last from a victim who said that she was a victim of an attack by Mr. Vincent back in February. We immediately conducted an investigation over the next couple of days, and on Friday night we obtained an arrest warrant for Mr. Vincent with a bail of $100,000 for assault with a deadly weapon. Over the weekend, we monitored Mr. Vincent as we knew that he was in a treatment program, and with the GPS monitor, so we knew his location. We spoke with the public defender, and there was an agreement that Mr. Vincent would turn himself in this morning. As you know, he showed up here in court this morning, and he's been taken into custody on a $100,000 warrant.
Did the victim in the case in February file a police report at the time of the incident back in February, or did she see him and then say, this is what happened, and then file the police report now in August?
When the incident occurred in February, the police department was called. We responded out, but when we arrived, both Mr. Vincent and the victim had left the scene, so there was not an initial report made. When we were contacted on Wednesday, we generated a police report, interviewed the victim, and began our investigation.
What were the other incidents? I know towards the bottom of the press release you mentioned over the weekend. Were there more incidents that you may have been connected to? You guys are investigating?
There are at least 2 other incidents that have occurred within the last couple of months. In both of those incidents, the victims have come forward to us based on Mr. Vincent's picture being put out in the media, and have indicated to us that they were victims of crime and they believe Mr. Vincent was the perpetrator.
When did those happen? Do you know when those?
I don't have the exact dates of those right now. Both of those investigations are on their early onset, and we will be following through in those incidents as well.
The DA's office had said that they... Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. That was just going to say, the press release indicated August 17th, which would have been over the weekend. Did his GPS tracker correspond with the location, or why that date? What happened on August 17th?
Okay, so the DA's office said what happened?
In the bottom of the press release, it says it says August 17th, which would have been 2 days ago.
Okay, so we obtained the arrest warrant for him on Friday night. So we knew that he was in a treatment program, and we were able to determine that he was in the program over the weekend based on the GPS monitor results. So we spoke to the public defender, indicated that we had an arrest warrant for him, and the arrangement was made that he would turn himself in this morning. Over the weekend, we continued to monitor him to make sure that he was still in the treatment program and in the location that he was supposed to be.
Part of the argument on the part of the district attorney's office was that they wanted him to remain in custody because they believed that he presented an ongoing threat, that there was the possibility that he still posed a threat to public safety. In light now of these new allegations, do you still believe that Mr. Vincent poses a threat, since there's now an aggravated assault charge to go with the incident from last Sunday?
That's going to be up to the court to determine whether or not there is a threat to public safety. I think in both of these incidents, the one that was on video and the allegations of the new case that we had from February show some serious criminal activity that warrant a real strong look at whether or not there's a threat to public safety.
What was the weapon?
In the February case, it was a knife.
Can you give us the details of what happened that night? February case?
Preliminarily, the victim in that case was with a couple of friends at a local restaurant, outside, ready to go home, when they were attacked by Mr. Vincent with a knife. Those individuals had called for an Uber ride, and the Uber ride arrived, and they were able to get into the Uber and leave the scene. We were contacted at the time, and officers responded, but both Mr. Vincent and the victim were gone, and so there was no initial report made at the time.
Were they injured? Anyone injured in this incident?
No.
Do you have video of that incident as well?
We are looking for video of that incident, but it goes back to February at this time.
Is there any indication of his motive in that first incident?
Not at this time.
The other at least two crimes that you're talking about, can you say more about what types of crimes they were? Were they assaults? Were they robberies?
One is similar to the assault that occurred about a week ago, and the other one not quite as similar, but has some things in common.
How were they similar?
Victims in these cases were approached by Mr. Vincent on the street. They fled from him, and there was some activity that caused some concern for them, for their safety.
Just curious, the victims, obviously this most recent one, female, the rideshare incident, female. Are the other victims female as well? Have the same makeup?
At this time, I can't comment on their gender because we're still early on in the investigation.
Can you speak about public safety in general? The fact that maybe if this initial video never came out, we might not even be standing here and he might still be out on the streets.
Well, that could certainly be the case, but what we are pleased is that we were able to obtain this video, that the public was aware that this incident occurred, and that we were able to take Mr. Vincent into custody. Public safety is paramount for this community. They need to feel safe, and when we're able to take an individual like this into custody, whether or not he has mental health issues or other issues that may have been part of this, we want the community to be safe, and in this instance, we think that the response has afforded them that opportunity.
One more question.